Now I'm at the point you wanna be with me. I'm vibing out at a higher frequency, cause everything that I want and I'm gonna be, it's when I wake up, that's when I start to dream. Someone you love is talking down, here is the plan. Let it fall through like a handful of sand. Nothing happens overnight, what you must understand. If you dwell on the bad, then you don't stand a chance. Something you want upset, saying why it ain't mine yet. That's because now you have yet to change your mindset. People don't put their mind to rest while they're so wired. A lot of people go to sleep and wake up tired. Power of positivity and persistence. Say that I can, we'll just sit back and witness. Make an impact when our time is done. Make money, help people, and have lots of fun. Whoa.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest millionaires, billionaires, and entrepreneurs in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
You have the responsibility of providing value to them.
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
Really, the goal isn't to be disciplined. The goal is for it to be intuitive.
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
Just decided I'm going to prove them wrong because I feel like this is progressive. This is something that is new and different.
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.
Very good. Welcome to Friday training on Wednesday. It's More Good News Wednesday. There's so much more good news on Wednesday. We're doing Friday training 2 days early because I'm flying to Sydney to speak tomorrow and then to a wellness retreat in Bali. So just overlapping the activity I get paid for and the activity I don't get paid for. I want to thank Jake so much. Remember, email me if you'd like the Rules to Being Human training exercise or my book. I'll sign it, send it to you, pay for shipping and the book. Go ahead, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. We will, if it's free, it's we. So just email me as we invite more people into the room. Look, these rules were written years ago in Sanskrit. And that's before writing. So thousands and thousands of years ago, they came out with lessons of life, or rules of life, and studying human nature is an essential part of life. There's life circumstances, and then there's life. The reason I study history is that human nature never changes. So historically, I found these rules of being human in Sanskrit by studying the Bhagavad Gita years and years and years ago. And human nature is something, as I said, that doesn't change. And if we understand human nature, we can understand both life and life circumstances and live within the reconciliation between the two. One of the favorite pieces of literature that comes from these are the 12 rules that apply to all of our lives, no matter when or where or who we are. Understanding these rules will help identify the fear, the life circumstances compared to life itself, and allow us to live in the flow, to be influencers, not influencers spreading disease, but influencers spreading ease. And so let's start with the first lesson of being human. You will receive a body. And so this is part of being human, is being born into a human body. And so since we only receive one body, part of our objective, part of our non-negotiable is to take care of our body. Although the body separates us and is a reminder of an egotistical consciousness to show us life circumstances and to separate life circumstances from life, we are given a body. And I think at its core, we need to know that this is part of being human and part of the lesson of life, that we are separate with our body and we need to make our non-negotiable health. If you are healthy, you will get as many wishes in life as you want. If you're unhealthy, you have to deal with the life circumstances, which will only allow you to have one wish. And so this is very, very important when we look at the lessons of life, that we start with our life is determined upon when our heart starts beating and when our heart stops beating, and it is encompassed, our life circumstances, by a body. The second life lesson is you will learn lessons with this body. Without learning lessons, we can't progress. Life is about lessons, and we will learn lessons by utilizing the senses of our body. Second lessons is not only to understand the differentiator between life and life circumstances, body and soul, but also that the purpose of our life is to expand, grow, and accelerate. And the way that we expand, grow, and accelerate is to study and practice the lessons that we learn. And these lessons come from our past, our experiences. And that's why we give meaning to our past, aligned with where and what we've learned in the past with where we think we want to be in the future, which will dictate or indicate the way that we do, say, think, believe, and feel today in that trajectory as well. And so lesson one, we have a body, and two, we are here to learn lessons. Lesson number three in the rules of being human is there are no mistakes. There's only lessons. So this is where that idea of giving meaning to the mistakes, failures, setbacks, successes, defining moments, historical relevances of our past come into play. If we can see that all life circumstances, not life, but life circumstances are to provide us lessons and there are no mistakes, pain will indicate that we have a lesson to learn. And when we learn it, the pain will go away. But there are no mistakes, only lessons. And as we live our lives and give the correct meaning to the lessons, indicated by mistakes, failures, setbacks, shortages, voids, and obstacles, successes, and failure deemed and defined by ourselves, by our lives, circumstances with the body and lessons that we want to learn, we will finally see that those mistakes or the meaning that we give them is actually what propels us to a better place, a better position, or a better situation. You will receive a body. You will learn lessons. There are no mistakes and only lessons. The fourth rule of being human and lesson of life is a lesson will be repeated until it's learned. So life is about lessons. The lessons keep on coming until you learn them. They will be repeated until they learn. And so as we look for clues, patterns, we now can make better choices, knowing that life's lessons will continue until we learn them, that the pain, setbacks, failures, mistakes, shortages, voids, and obstacles will keep returning either consciously, subconsciously, or unconsciously through a genetic or energetic inheritance of our life circumstances, our body, our separateness, in order to see how we can dissolve, dissipate, or disappear any pain, setbacks, failures, mistakes, successes, any meanings that we are giving it that are not aligned with the trajectory of acceleration, growth, and aggregation of what we want. And so looking at life, that these lessons will continue to be repeated until they're learned. Once they're learned, then the pain, setbacks, failures, and mistakes will go away. The fifth of the lessons of life, of the rules of being human, is learning lessons does not end. As long as we are alive, as long as we are given this body, as long as our heart is beating, is the only indicator that our bodies are no longer relevant in life. so life circumstances all end when the heart stops beating, that learning lessons does not end. So no matter what age you are, we are here to expand, aggregate, and accelerate and learn. We are here to grow. We are here to live life by learning from life circumstances. And that growth does not end until your heart stops. So as long as you live, those lessons will keep on coming to us. So we continue to look for the clues, the patterns, in order to effectuate choices to learn those lessons and to improve our life circumstances, which in the end will elevate our lives. And so learning lessons will not end. Life is about lessons. The lessons keep on coming until we learn them, and learning lessons does not end. There are no mistakes, only lessons. And we use our body in order to receive, give, and witness these lessons. These are called from life circumstances, not life source or life. Life source is from faith that there's something bigger than us, an omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing source, a unified system of lessons that we all belong to in an infinite, abundant way. Life circumstances, the lessons of life, the rules of being human, all the way back, by the way, just as a reminder, as we've gone over 5 lessons, all of these lessons were created thousands of years ago before we even had an English language. That's how much proof I have that human nature never changes. That's why we should study history, in order to learn the lessons, to find the clues, to see the patterns, and to make better choices in order to live our lives fuller with passion, purpose, and profitability, understanding we are learning from the life circumstances in order to elevate our lives, to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of our potential. The 6th rule of being human, the 6th lesson of life, is one that particularly I see today, especially with social media, with the defining moments, snapshots of people's best existence, life circumstances, whether they be true or untrue, standing in front of cars you own or don't own. This is why I give my book away for free, to help people understand lesson number 6. And I will sign that book, send it to you, pay for shipping, just with this guide, the 12 lessons of life, the 12 rules of being human. Simply email me, david@dmeltzer.com. But the 6th lesson is, there is no better than here. Taking the perspective of life is about lessons, we find the light, the love, and the lessons in everything we do via life circumstances to provide a better life, being connected to and through as influencers, a source, an omniscient, all-powerful source that protects and promotes us at all time. We realize that there, attaching our emotions to an outcome is no better than here, attaching our emotions to the enjoyment of the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of our potential by understanding we received a body, learning lessons, knowing there's no mistakes. Pain is an indicator that we have a better place, a better situation to be in, through the lessons that are repeated until they're learned. And learning does not end ever until the heart stops. The body stops when the heart stops. That allows us to know rule number 6, that there, attaching our emotions to an outcome is no better than here. Attaching our emotions to life circumstance is no better than attaching our to our potential, to our life source, to our life. And understanding this, as we look at influencers spreading dis-ease, interference between us and that life, by throwing life circumstances in the way, we can realize very quickly that these lessons of here are no better than the lessons of there. And that what other people think, what we don't want, what we don't have, is absolutely not important as what we do want or have by doing, saying, thinking, believing, and feeling in the trajectory of what we think we want. So those are the first 6 lessons out of 12. The first lesson is you'll receive a body, distinguishing us, separating us from life circumstances in life, knowing that health is our non-negotiable, that if we're healthy, we get as many wishes as we want. And if we're unhealthy, we only get one wish, to keep our heart popping and stop, then instead of stopping. And then you will learn the lessons. No mistakes, pain, setbacks, failures, mistakes are just indicators that you have lessons to learn. And there are no mistakes and only lessons. Lessons will continue to come in clues, patterns, till you make the choice to learn the lesson. And then once it's learned, the pain, mistakes, failures will go away, but lessons will continue to repeat themselves till you learn them. Learning lessons will never end until the heart stops. Life circumstances will end, and all that will be and remain is life. And then finally, understanding that there, attaching our emotions to the outcome, to people laughing at us, scoffing at us, making fun of us, is no better than here. Looking inside of us, knowing that we can't find outside of us. We can't find there unless we know here. We can't find outside of us until we know what we find inside of us. Rule number 7 of being human, the 7th lesson of life that I have studied in history all the way back to Sanskrit, Sanskrit, by the way. And I'm more than happy to send these lessons to you along with my book, as I mentioned. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. The 7th lesson is, others are merely mirrors of you. This is when I see Sean Dill's in the house. What's up, brother Sean? Sean Dill, others are merely mirrors of you, which makes me feel good, because if you are a mirror of me, I'm looking damn good, because that's one handsome devil. But more importantly, what other people think, say, do, believe, and feel of us is what they feel, think, say, and do, and believe of themselves. So when people have attacking thoughts, judgments, and conditions of us that may deem to be hurtful as attacking thoughts, we understand that they're just projecting their own meaning onto us. And so when those people suffer from an egotistic consciousness of a need to be right, offended, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, resentful, attacking, judgments, conditions, we want to heal that. And that's where forgiveness and gratitude come in line, to find the light, the love, and the lessons from being attacked. And forgiveness will put us at ease, in accountability, in control, in effective communication, inspired, in spirit, connected to and through, with no interference between me and you. Others are merely mirrors of us. And so if we can use gratitude, forgiveness, and accountability and effective communication in order to clear the interference of those attacking thoughts, of the interference that people project onto us, because others are just merely a mirror of ourselves, we can then learn more lessons and know that that there is no better than here. Scott Elgort in the house. Good to see you as well. Keaton as well. Great to see you. Everybody, come join us, by the way. We're going to be and have an incredible VIP experience, an over-the-top experience at VCon. We got podcast booth stages and a VIP dinner. If you want to join us, please email me. We got Jim Quick, Clinton Sparks, Jeff Hoffman, Austin Eckler, Michael Chandler, Sean Dill, and myself, and many, many more. Tom Bilyeu, by the way, has invited us all to his party afterwards as well. So please, everyone, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. And I believe we have one spot left in Scotland this summer. If you're interested in joining us there and going to St. Andrews, it'll be a hell of a time. All right, we got 7 lessons of life, 7 rules of being human done. Let's get on to number 8. What you make of your life is up to you. How do we do that? Well, first of all, we have to give meaning to the lessons, right? We have to learn the lessons. We have to give a meaning to the lessons, find the light, the love, and the lessons in our past. The only limitation of the past, the only thing that will stop you from making your life what you want it to be, is to give the wrong meaning of the past. And if you give the wrong meaning to the past, it creates interference or limitation for the future and stops us from doing what we need to do today to get to the future that we want, to get to the life that we want. Why? Because you can never overachieve your own self-image. And that self-image is created from the lessons that you learned in the here and there and what we find inside of us. Those lessons that we learn will keep on coming until we learn them. If we don't learn them, then we are limiting our own self-image and thus limiting what we can do with our life. So what is make of your life is up to you. When you give the meaning to the past, you are productive, accessible, gracious in the present, in a trajectory of unlimited, infinite system of thought, an omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing source that's protecting and promoting you and propelling you towards bigger than you ever believed, because you will never overachieve your own self-image. So give the meaning of the past, execute in the present in order to get to the future. Number 8, Rule of being human, lesson of life is what you make of your life is up to you in the past, the present, and the future by the lessons that you learn. All of these 8 first lessons are incorporated in one another in order to create a more abundant life for yourself. And so please go back if you want to review these. I'll send these to you with my book. I'll sign the book, send it to you, pay for shipping. I promise. David@dmeltzer.com. All right, number 9. Life is exactly what you think it is. Life is exactly what you think life circumstances are. And this is where the present comes into play. If you live in nothingness, like a tube, food in, food out, your life will be exactly what you think it is. Like Camus' The Stranger, rolling a boulder to the top of the hill, just ever roll down. Living your life like a tube, into work, out to work, into work, out to work. Stop living your life like a tube. Life is exactly what you think it is. The minute you think what you want in a trajectory of what you think you want in the future, by giving the meaning to the lessons that you've learned, the repetitive lessons that you've learned by clues, patterns to make better choices, the minute you know what you want personally, experientially, giving wise and receiving wise, knowing that giving and receiving are one, you will go from a nothingness of what you think your life is to a somethingness, to a possibility. And if you want to take the next step from possibility to probability, now think about what you want, giving meaning to the lessons in a trajectory of your unlimited future by knowing who you can help and who can help you. If you know who you can help and who can help you, your possibility, your somethingness becomes more than something, a probability. Once you know what you want and who you want, you have a probability in the trajectory of what you think you want by giving and learning from the lessons of the past. And if you want to take the next step from that probability into a perspective, into what you think it is, that's your perspective, by using gratitude, forgiveness, and accountability. You can have your perspective by knowing how to be 3 things. 1, how can I be more productive with what I want and who I can help? How can I provide more value, be more productive to what I want and who can help me? How can I be more accessible to what I want and who I can help and who can help me? How can I access what I want and who can help and who can help me? And then the third, how can I find the lessons? Life is about lessons. They're going to keep on coming until I learn them. There is no better than here, other than merely mirrors of ourselves. What we make of our life is up to you, but life is exactly what I think it is. In order to do that, I need to know what, a probability, a possibility, who, a probability, and how. Productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, the perspective of learning lessons, of finding the light, the love, and the lessons that keep on coming to propel us, protect us, and promote us. And when we have that perspective, we can live in spirit by making it our now, by making it our reality. We have a nothingness, a tube, to possibility, to probability, perspective. Make it your reality by prioritization. Prioritization is the key. It is the key to reality. It is the key to, as an antidote to procrastination and feeling overwhelmed, so that all we are dreamers instead of executors. If you want to have nothingness to a possibility, probability, perspective into reality, you need to prioritize what's important to you. Why? Because life is exactly what you think it is. So we look and focus in on what's important to us. That's what we think our life is. And we utilize life circumstances in order to effectuate what life is, what we think it is. And when we learn what's important to us, it's very easy to prioritize our now and our next, which creates great efficiencies, effectiveness, and statistical success within the context of the 24 hours that we're given each day. The only limitation of now is man-made constructive time. The only limitation of the past is the meaning we give it and the lessons that we've learned. And the only limitations of the future is our own self-image. Learn to prioritize Make your thoughts your reality. Go from nothingness to reality by knowing what you want, who you can help, who can help you, how to get it done with productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, and prioritize according to you. Don't worry about what other things people think are important, what you don't want, what you don't have, what you're worried about, scared about, anxious about. Think about what you want, because your life is exactly what you think it is. And when you realize your reality, your now and next, not only are you efficient, effective, and statistically successful, you can live inspired. You will apply your why. You will stop searching for what you already have, because the answers, lesson number 10, the answers, rule of being human number 10, is your answers lie inside of you. That's right, they lie inside of you. You don't have to go outside to get more happy, outside to get more healthy, outside to get more wealthy, outside to get more worthy. They lie inside of you. Rule number 10. You already have everything you need, or you wouldn't be here. You are. I am happy. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am worthy. What am I doing to interfere with it? And that practice of identify what I'm doing to interfere with it, the practice of identify what I'm afraid of, a fear of the past and resentment and guilt, a fear of the future and anxiety and worry, whatever it may be, what am I doing to interfere with it? And how can I find the answers for the lessons that I'm learning? Because life's about lessons, and these life circumstances are creating these lessons for my life. And they lie inside of me because I am. And I am going to identify what I am by figuring out what I'm doing to interfere with a unified, infinite system of thought, with an omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing source that loves us more than our moms love us. And we know that all answers to these lessons lie inside of us, that we have everything we need or we wouldn't be here. Lesson number 10 incorporates all the first 9 lessons of you will receive a body to separate life circumstances with life. You will learn lessons. There are no mistakes. Not mistakes, those pain, failures, setbacks, and shortages are only indicators that you have lessons to learn. The lessons will be repeated until you learn them. Learning lessons will never end. The life circumstances, the body will never end till the heart stops. There, over there, attaching your emotions to outcome is no better than here. Others are merely mirrors of you, finding the oneness, the unified system of thought. What you make of your life is up to you by the meaning you give the past, how we utilize what we do, say, think, believe, and feel in a trajectory of our own self-image, our infinite future. And life is exactly what you think it is. So know what you want, who you can help, who can help you, how best to get it done with productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, applying the prioritization of what's important to us, not what's missing, what we don't have, but we have everything we need. Applying that importance, it is an antidote to feeling overwhelmed, an antidote to feeling procrastinating. And then finally, applying the why in life. Lesson number 10. Your answers lie inside of you. Identify the fear inside of you. What's interfering, FEAR, with your potential. All right. Rule number 11, life 11, is one of humility. You will forget all of this. This is about lessons. That's why we need to codify the lessons that resonate with us, because we have to be human. We have to be humble and know that we cannot remember, recollect, and remind ourselves of all lessons. So we have to admit that we're going to forget all of this, that we continue to learn, and we repeat the lessons if we haven't learned them in the unconscious competency that we have, the genetic and energetic chain-breaking competency that we've been given. You must remember as you learn lessons that you will forget every lesson that you've ever learned. And nobody's perfect. We utilize gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and effective communication in order to remind, remember, and recollect these lessons from the omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing source that loves us more than our moms and protects and promotes and propels us to something better. And then finally, lesson number 12, the rule of being human number 12. Not only will you forget all of this, but you can remember, remind, and recollect it whenever you want. How? By identifying what you're doing to interfere with it. By reminding, remembering, and recollecting what you want, who you can help you, how to get it done with productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, to prioritize what's important to you so you know your now and know your next, to apply your why. Remind, remember, and recollect that we belong to a unified, abundant, infinite system of thought, our life. And it is life circumstances that interfere with that abundance. And when we can identify that fear, and instead of going over it, under it, through it, around it, instead of lying to it, cheating to it, manipulating it, denying it, if we simply can be at ease, in the flow, stop spreading dis-ease, identify the dis-ease, and stop and breathe through our nose and out through our mouth, and remind, remember, and recollect that you can remind, remember, and recollect whenever you want all that you have forgotten. When we do this, we then can roll in the trajectory of a greater self-image, a greater potential, an infinite, abundant, all-knowing system of thought that protects, promotes, and propels us toward a better future. There are 12 lessons in life written so long ago there wasn't even writing. There are 12 rules of being human, which I'm happy to send to everyone. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Put in your questions now. I will be happy to answer them. Remember, remind, and recollect that you will receive a body. You will learn lessons. There are no mistakes, only lessons. A lesson will be repeated until it's learned, and learning lessons does not end. There is no better than here. Others are merely mirrors of you, and what you make of your life is up to you. What you make of your life is up to you, and life is exactly what you think it is. All answers lie inside of you. You can't find inside of you what you can't see outside of you, and the answers that lie inside of you, all answers will be forgotten. You will forget all of this. So send an email to me so you can remind, remember, and recollect anytime you want, which is lesson number 12. The rules of being human, you can remember it whenever you want, remind it, recollect it whenever you want, because you are part of an infinite, abundant system of thought, part of a system that loves you more than your mom and protects, promotes, and propels you to something greater than you can even imagine. Please reach out to me. Not only will I send you the exercises for the rules of being human, the 12 lessons of life, but I'll sign a book, send it to you, pay for shipping and the book, for being part of our community, a community of people who want to help each other and know people who can help each other. All right, Jake, why don't you reset the room? Why don't we go ahead and invite more people in and answer some questions from anyone there? We got tons of questions online. Just let me know.
Perfect. Let's do it. Thank you so much for that, Dave. If anyone wants that training, that guide, the 12 rules of being human guide, just email David as well. His email is david@dmeltzer.com. david@dmeltzer.com. Thank you so much for that, Dave. We've got people who want to ask you some questions. There's questions online. Let's continue to share the room, everybody. You can do that at the bottom here on Clubhouse. There is a arrow where if you push that, you can share the room on all your favorite social media channels, and then of course here on Clubhouse. Let's continue to share the room. Dave, if you want to start with the question online, and then we'll bring up Lisa here on Clubhouse when you're back.
Yeah, no problem at all. So first question is, should timing be valued over speed? How come? So it's interesting. Speed is a velocity. And I learned today on my IG that we should not pray for things to happen faster. We should pray for the power to make them happen at the right place at the perfect time. But timing and risk tolerance is absolutely the quintessential foundation for how we will want things to become. Because if we can align what we want with the timing and risk tolerance that we have, we're going to be satisfied regardless of the outcome. And so I believe that timing is actually a mutual construct of speed, and that what we want to focus our attention and intention in is not the speed in which it's going to happen, but the power that we have to make it happen at the right place at the perfect time, aligned with our timing and our risk tolerance. Great question, Jake. We got tons of questions, so just let me know where to go.
Lisa here on Clubhouse. Lisa, if you want to unmute yourself and ask David your question, welcome.
Hi, David, thank you. I don't have a specific question, but I really enjoyed listening to all of that. I feel like it takes a lot of pressure off of things that may feel stressful and anxious, and turning that into a time to really learn the lesson and dig deep into the problem, rather than, stressing and worrying about maybe something that you haven't really gotten to the bottom of. So I really appreciate all of the things that you went through.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and I think it is an example, a story, and a lesson of how can we enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of our own potential. Not what other people want, not what's missing, not the mistakes, failures, setbacks, shortages, voids, obstacles, defining moment, historical references, insecurities, but simply what we want in our potential, regardless of our basements, which are indicated by the skills and knowledge that we have, but more importantly, the delta, the desire that we have, that inspiration, that spirit that we contain, that creates the delta in our lives. So even if we choose or pick something that we're passionate and purposeful about, that we may not have the greatest skills and knowledge for, that we have a lower basement of, it is the delta that provides the passion, the purpose, and even the profitability to allow the abundance to exist and to follow us. Thank you so much for the comment. Certainly pertinent in what we're talking about. Jake, reset the room and let's bring on the next question.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa, for your question. Quickly resetting the room. This is David Meltzer's free training here. He's been doing free training for over 23 years. Today's topic is the 12 rules of being human. Now is the Q&A portion. So questions to ask David, feel free to raise your hand or back channel me, and we will aim to bring you up. So let's continue to share the room, of course, here too on Clubhouse. You can share it at the bottom. There's a square with an arrow. You can share it in your here on Clubhouse, of course, and then text message, and then your favorite social media platform. So Dave, why don't you take a question online, and then when you get back, we'll bring up Gigi to ask a question here on Clubhouse.
All right, I love it. How to maximize the laws of attraction to achieve your goals. So within the context of the values that you have, within the context of one, gratitude to give you perspective, forgiveness, empathy, which gives you ease, lies the law of attraction and accountability. And it is collaborating accountability with not only the law of attraction, but the law of responsibility and gratitude, and then the law of perception. And so what I do is to maximize the law of attraction, which says what I think, say, do, believe, and feel will aggregate more of what I think, say, do, and feel and believe. And within that aggregation comes compounding outcomes and exponentiality, as well as acceleration. So things attract themselves faster. But the first step of attraction is to know what I do, say, think, believe, and feel in being responsible for everything in my life and learning from it. The next step is saying, what did I do to attract everything, aggregate, accelerate, and exponentially grow? And what am I supposed to learn from it? And then finally, what am I doing to participate in the perception of it? And what am I supposed to learn from it? Through the lessons of gratitude and forgiveness and accountability, we now can maximize the laws of attraction to have the law of gravity that says I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm responsible for it. The law of attraction, I'm aggregating, compounding, and accelerating it. And the law of perception, of participation in perception. Some people are asking where they can get the book. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Go ahead, put it in the notes there on the other platforms as well, so that they know where to get that, david@dmeltzer.com. Put it in there. Anyways, to maximize attraction, aggregation, compounding, and acceleration, we have to understand gratitude, forgiveness, and of course, accountability to be in the flow. Stop being in dis-ease. Go ahead, live in ease. Very good. All right, Jake, that was from online. Where else do you want me to go?
Yes, let's bring up Gigi here on Clubhouse. Gigi, if you want to unmute yourself and ask David your question, welcome.
Hello. Happy Wednesday.
Hi.
So I think this is my favorite training. And my question is like every time I get attached to an outcome and I achieve it, I don't feel how I think I would feel. And every time I'm attached to the journey, and I love that, I'm feeling fulfilled and happy. So how can I stop being attached more to the result and be more joyful during the journey? It's like what you said. Don't pray for getting there fast, pray for how time it gets and enjoy it. So yeah.
Yeah. So, having values, first of all, like we've mentioned, things like gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, effective communication, but utilizing daily practices allow us to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of our potential, of our happiness. Chris Gardner, who's a friend of mine, who hopefully is coming to VCon with us as well, completely forgot, he may be there as well, but he talks about and has a movie and a book called The Pursuit of Happiness. I always tell him that's backwards because happiness is the pursuit. How do we make happiness the pursuit? By enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of our potential in the daily practices of knowing what we want, who we can help, who can help us, how to get it done, prioritizing accordingly and applying our why. We can know that here is no better than there, and utilizing the daily practices, as Abraham Lincoln said a long time ago, what we practice and study will prepare us for the options, opportunities, and touches of favor, allowing us to be aware and prepared for the options, opportunities, and touches of favor that exist all around us in a unified, abundant system of thought. So utilize the values, the daily practices, and study and practice by doing, saying, thinking, believing, and feeling what you want in a trajectory where you think you want to be, by giving meaning or learning the lessons of the setbacks, failures, mistakes, void shortages, obstacles, successes, defining moments of your past. And by utilizing the values, daily practices, and this execution model, you will enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. You will enjoy the pursuit itself and be happy for all of the time, except for the minutes and moments when you interfere with it. But you got to have faith that you're part of that infinite system of thought, believing the source of that thought, not the life circumstances, but the life force exists from something bigger than you, an omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing source that loves you more than your mom and protects and promotes you by giving you these lessons and guidance to get to where you think you want to be or better. Awesome, Gigi. Thank you always for joining me. You're an incredible member of the community, always looking to help and to see who else you know that can help. If anybody wants to help, a simple way to help is not only to be grateful, but get out there today and let somebody know they're not alone. Kindness is a great vehicle to let people know you're collaborating, coordinating, and co-creating with them. People feel alone. If you can change one person's perception that they're alone, I promise you, you will change millions. All right. Thank you so much, Gigi. Jakey of the Bakey. Let's keep it rocking and rolling. Why don't you reset the room and tell me where to go? We got hundreds of questions rocking and rolling. We have, believe it or not, even though it's a Friday training on a Wednesday, still over 80,000 people registered here doing this almost 24 years, over 23 years to be exact. So, Jake, go ahead, reset the room.
You got it. I love the questions today, too. Incredible questions. Thank you, everyone, for being here and sharing your questions and insights. Yes, quickly resetting the room here. This is David Meltzer's training here in the Breakfast with Champions. Today's training was the 12 rules of being human, and we're at the question and answer portion now. So if you have a question you'd like to ask David here on Clubhouse, online, on TikTok, all the social media platforms that Dave is live on, just feel free to ask it. Or if you're on Clubhouse, just back channel me or raise your hand and we will aim to bring you up. Also, if you want one of Dave's free books, of course, he'll pay for shipping as well. Feel free to email him, or if you want the 12 Rules of Being Human training guide as well, you can email him. His email is david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com. So let's continue to share the room. Dave, I'll pass it back to you to take a question online, and then we'll take a question on TikTok that I can read to you when you're back.
All right, perfect. Well, TikTok is online, Jake, and I'm more than happy to pay for the book and shipping, not just the shipping. So people are very literal, so I always like to make those clarifications. Question real quick. Which rule of the 12 have impacted you the most? Well, it depends on when, but I think of all of them is the idea of pain or mistakes being indicators of lessons we need to learn, that life is about the lessons. The lessons keep on coming until we learn them, indicated by pain, mistakes, and failures. At its core, that has allowed me to identify what I'm doing to interfere with my best potential, to identify fear of the past, fear of the future, to see where I'm worried or anxious or resentful or guilty, where the needs of the egotistical consciousness, the need to be right, the need to be offended, the need to be separate as a human being, the need to be inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, resentful, all of these different things at its core are at that rule. And that rule, that pain or mistakes are just indicators that you have lessons to learn, is a key to understanding how we can live minutes and moments outside of the unified abundant system of thought, outside of the omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing source that loves us more than our mom. So that rule has had the biggest and greatest impact on me the majority of the time. Email me if you'd like those exercises again, or my book. I'll sign it, send it to you, pay for shipping and the book. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Thanks so much. Love to be of service and of value. Someone's asking a really important question, Jake. What's your height? I'm 5'7". I know I look much taller on the digital platforms, but I'm 5'7", and I am vertically challenged, especially when I play basketball. Go ahead, Jake.
Is height overrated, Dave? That's my question.
Depends on what you're doing. We always want to align our skills, our knowledge, and our desire with what's doing well, what we think is doing well, and what's stable. So determinative upon, when I fly, height is a huge strength. When I'm playing basketball, it's a huge detriment. Luckily, I fly a lot more because I have very short legs, a long upper body. I fly much more than I play basketball. Anyway, and I know you and I both share some great attributes, and that's one of them. Anyway, move your weaknesses to where there is strength, and you'll find great strength in everything you do. Jake, where you have a question you wanted to read off of TikTok, you said.
I do, yes, I do. The question is from James on TikTok. The question is, what's the difference between possibility and probability?
Yeah, just to start at the core. First, there's nothingness, which is how the majority of the people on Earth live. They live in nothingness. They roll a boulder, like in Camus' The Stranger, and the myth of Sisyphus that they explain. They roll a boulder to the top of the hill each day, just to have it roll down to the bottom at the end of the day. They live their lives in nothingness, like tubes. So first, to have a possibility, we need to know what it is we want, because what we think is absolutely what we can have. And if we know what we want in a trajectory of what we think we want, and even give meaning to the past in alignment with that trajectory, we have great possibility every day. But to take a possibility and make it a probability, we have to know how we're connected to and through a unified, abundant, infinite system of thought, an omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing life, not the life circumstance. So we take the life circumstance and we say to ourselves, who can we help, or who can help us? And the minute we do that, not only does the nothingness become a possibility, but the possibility becomes a probability. And then if we do how, it's a perspective, and then now makes it our reality. And the applying of the why makes it our passion or inspiration. That is the 5 daily practices. Happy to send those out with the 12 rules of being human, with my book. I'll pay for all of it. Send it, sign it, pay for shipping and the book. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. All right, Jake, we're definitely rocking and rolling. We got about 13 minutes left. Who and what do you want me to do?
Let's take a question on Clubhouse. Yenis is here. Yes, and Yenis, if you want to unmute yourself and ask David your question, welcome.
Hi, David. Hi, Jake. I'm so excited to be in this room today. Okay, so I'm usually very overachiever, doing. I have been like that for so long. From celebrity and an actress, influencer, journalist. But this year I have a huge burnout for the circumstances, right? So I need some obstacle happened and I lost my motivation. So I'm trying to get back to the fire I have been for many years. And another question is, what is the biggest lesson, David, that you have learned in your life that's your key to keep going? Thank you, and I'm done speaking.
Oh, very good. Well, first of all, you have not lost your motivation or your inspiration. You're interfering with it. So the greatest lesson that I've learned is I am that I am. You can read the book, The Moses Code. There's multiple books that talk about Wayne Dyer, Dr. Wayne Dyer, about I am, from Deepak to Sadhguru to Master Shah to multiple world thought leaders. I am is a confirmation that you're part and parcel of everything, of an omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing source, of a system of unified, infinite thought that's protecting and promoting you and loves you more than your mom. So that when we feel interference from that inspiration, when we feel separate from, inferior, superior, not worthy of, not wealthy of, not healthy of the omniscient, all-powerful life, by allowing life circumstances to interfere with it, we need to take a step back and stop and breathe and remind, remember, and recollect what we're part and parcel to. We need to remind, remember, and recollect that we are part and parcel of an omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing source of a life that is protecting, promoting, and propelling us to a bigger, better, and brighter future. It's very similar to a 3-year-old who reaches out to, very inspired and happy, reaches out to touch a stove. And their mom sees this, and she has maybe never yelled or even hit their child, but immediately slaps the back of the child's hand and screams, "No." And the child at 3 thinks they're being punished the same way you think you're being punished by life circumstances, but it's not life, it's circumstances, it's life. And the life is part and parcel of an omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing source that loves you more than your mom. So when your mom slaps you and screams no, and you cry, "Oh, I'm being punished. I have no motivation, no inspiration. Why me?" Your mom hugs you and tells you, "No, sweetheart, that stove's gonna burn you. You just don't know it. I'm protecting and promoting you. I'm propelling you to a better place, a better situation, a brighter place, a brighter situation for you. I love you more than you know, and I know more than you know." And if we take a step back when there's interference, life circumstances deter us and interfere us from our motivation, our inspiration, and you get slapped and you feel like a victim, that life is happening to you, not for you or through you, but to you as a victim. Why me? That's when we have to stop, drop, and roll back to center and realize and remember and recollect and remind with the omniscient, all-powerful, and all-knowing source that loves us more than our mom. So when we don't get the job, we don't get what we want, things happen that we consider or perceive to be bad, we have to have faith that they're actually not bad, that they're better, that I'm being promoted and protected and propelled to a better place, a better situation, a better light and love in my life, because I am faithful that there's something bigger than me that loves me more than my mom. And that's a stove that I just don't know. I didn't know that school, that girl, that situation, that job, that contract was going to burn me, because I don't know what I don't know. And life is about lessons, and lessons will keep on coming until they learn them. But if I have faith, a best option faith, not religious, can be any religion, not philosophical, can be any philosophy, not inspirational or spiritual, it doesn't matter. I find it ironic that 90%, 99% of all religions have 90% the same exact philosophies, spirituality, theories, and religion. 99% of all religions are basically 90% the same, and yet we try to find separation between us within the context of those religions, philosophies, theories, and spirituality. Instead, what I want you to do is identify what you're connected to and through. Have faith, and if anybody can tell me something that's a better option than believing in an omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing source, an infinite, abundant system of thought that loves me more than my mom and knows everything, that knows every stove out there that's going to burn me, then let me know, because I'll believe in that. But as far as I know, in 55 years, my best option philosophy finds me with faith that there's something bigger than me that knows everything and loves me and protects me and promotes me and propels me at all time. And I just don't know it's a burning stove. And so you are full of light, love, and lessons. You are full of the life source. You do not have to allow the life circumstances to interfere with that source. So I want you to take a step back, breathe through your nose, out through your mouth. Use these lessons of life, these rules of being human, to remind, remember, and recollect all that you have forgotten. And just spend minutes and moments in interference and live an inspired life with passion, purpose, and profitability in abundance, like you have been given and sourced already. This is the core. Spend minutes and moments outside of what you want. I promise you, you are inspired, you are motivated, you are more than enough. Have faith and figure out what you're doing to interfere with it. One of my favorite lessons, Jake, one of my favorite questions, Jake. Thank you so much for bringing it forward. We are loving this. Let's reset the room for the last 5 minutes and take another question.
Let's do it. Thank you for your question. Quickly resetting the room here. We are in the Breakfast with Champions. This is David Meltzer's free training he's been doing for over 23 years. Today's topic is the 12 rules of being human. There have been some great questions that everyone has asked. We got 5 minutes left here, so let's continue to bring on some great questions. If you don't have a chance to ask your question right now or today, just email David. He's happy to answer them. We can bring you back on as well. David's email is david@dmeltzer.com. david@dmeltzer.com. Let's bring up Jason here on Clubhouse. Jason, do you want to unmute yourself and ask David your question? Welcome. Oh, thank you very much, Jake. Thank you, David. Great to be here. And, I've been getting a lot out of your share today because, what I loved about what you mentioned, I think it was maybe the 11th thing where you're like, you're going to forget all this, by the way. And I love that because, and what I've noticed in your shares is you repeat, and you repeat. And I think if I can apply that to my business and my goals and my pitches when I'm in sales, like that's a real cool thing that I just picked up and learned from you, David, today. So thanks a lot. I appreciate it. My question is, what got you into motivational speaking from a young age? Or that's really what my question was. And I've been getting a lot out of motivation because I'm a startup founder of a tech company in cannabis. I'm in my 5th year. I just really eat up the motivation because I like to apply these things in the work. So what got you into it? And thank you very much for allowing me to share the stage with you.
Well, I love it too. And what got me into speaking, first of all, not necessarily motivational speaking, was when I was CEO of Samsung's phone division. Companies like Ingram Micro and other big distributors of mine would pay me to speak about convergence, about the new Windows CE device in 1999, the smartphone. And I started to really enjoy speaking. Misguided as it was, I learned that people love stories and to learn lessons from those stories. And then when I lost everything and ran the most notable sports agency in the world and realized that I could have a greater mission of speaking than helping people make money, that I could actually help them make money, help people, and have fun, that I could empower them to empower others to be happy, to live in abundance through repetitive lessons and different stories. And those lessons are so important, as you stated, and the repetition is so important because remember, the mathematical equation of luck, consequence, karma, and coincidence is very simple. What I pay attention to and what I give 5 levels of intention to, what I think, say, do, believe, and feel. When I practice and study it, it will equal the consequences in my life, the karma and the coincidences of my life. And it's actually a mathematical definition of luck when we put forth what we do, say, think, believe, and feel, and get it. That's how we define luck. And I've always said I'm one of the luckiest people on earth, and I can make you lucky as well by teaching you through repetition, through stories and lessons in order to do so. So when I took the joy of speaking and applied it to my mission of empowering over 1 billion people by finding 1,000 people like you to empower 1,000, to empower 1,000, to live in abundance, to be happy, to recognize, acknowledge, appreciate, we're part of a unified, abundant system of thought. It became more than just a passion. It became a purpose and became extremely profitable, as the money will follow in the context of a value-add world, not a zero-sum game. because the value add world says there's more than enough of everything, not just enough buying things you don't need to impress people you don't like, and certainly in not enough world of being a victim where things happen to you. And so that's where this new motivational, inspirational speaking has really elevated and escalated over the last 15 years and really has taken a hold in the last 6 years, and just blessed to be demanded and invited all over the world. As I will be in Sydney tomorrow, I will be in Bali, I will be at VCon, a variety of places about 3 times a week, being able to empower others to be happy. And everyone showing up here, I do free Friday trainings, I have groups, I have a wait list for one-on-one and business advisory, but I'm here to be of service or value at any way and anyhow I can. If you want a recording of this, someone asked in the notes here, just email me. Not only will I send you the exercises and guides, not only will I sign a book, send it to you, pay for shipping, but you can get the replay as well anytime, so you can remember and recollect the 12 rules of being human, the lessons of life that we shared today. Hopefully everyone will share these, share this content, do good deeds, go out there, let someone know they're not alone. It would be an amazing deed to do. You're amazing, all of you. Thank you for joining me for Friday training on a Wednesday. I love the fact that I can change the meaning to a week, an activity I get paid for. It's unbelievable. I'm blessed to have a community of people who want to help each other and know people that can help each other. Go ahead, Jake. Give everyone my email one more time, david@dmeltzer.com. Go ahead. Be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self. Do good deeds. Jake, close the room, please. Thank you, everybody. It's amazing. We appreciate you. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you soon.